Disney is stirring controversy after deciding to edit out a transgender storyline from its animated series called Win or Lose. This series follows a middle school co-ed softball team in the lead up to a big game. The transgender character will remain in the show, but Disney has decided to remove several lines of dialogue that reference the character's gender identity. The company said it wants to allow parents to discuss those topics with their children. The series is produced by Emeryville-based Pixar, a division of Disney, and it's set to begin streaming in February. For more perspective, we're joined here this afternoon live by Dr. Sean Fletcher, a professor of public relations and sport communication at San Jose State University. Professor, it's good to see you. We appreciate the time. So let's start off with the overarching question here. What do you think prompted Disney to remove this dialogue about the transgender teenager's gender identity?
Well, I think that it would be hard to overlook the potential political undertones of this situation, because when it moves through production, I'm surprised that it moved this far in the process of production to where somehow, some way, someone had an awakening and decided to make this alteration in the script so late into production. It seems to me from Bob Iger's Disney's lead that to do an about face, feeling as though they don't want to move into politics, is very different than what Disney and many of its subsidiaries have put out there in the animated space. So it feels to me that this issue is completely getting caught up in what has now become a culture war related to transgender issues in society.
And what do you think Disney is worried about here? I mean, on the one hand, like you say, obviously this was approved at some point, and this was green lighted, and now a few years later, you have Disney clearly worried potentially about a backlash.
Absolutely. And again, Bob Iger, in fairness, is the twice chairman of Disney now. And his predecessor, and they mentioned in the statement, when the very popular Lightyear series had a same-sex kiss and many issues dealing with the LGBTQ plus community were spotlighted in some of these other animated films that they have put out. Now Bob Iger is on the scene in a very different social climate, and now it feels as though he wants to move away from challenging some of the societal ills and some of the issues that we still struggle to come to terms with as a society, but also as parents, as we're leading our children through society right now. It feels as though he wants to now move things a bit back to center and now all of a sudden just become based on entertainment, which that has not been their brand up until now.
All right. Speaking of Disney's explanation, the company did say in a statement that when it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. What's wrong with this notion that Disney just is saying they want to allow parents the ability to have these conversations with their kids on their own terms?
That's absolutely fair. And if that is your creative and production edict, then again, I go back to what I said earlier. How does it move this far into the production process? How does it get greenlit to this extent to where you have a transgender voice actress, Chanel Stewart, being told so late in the production process, almost on the eve of it airing? It feels as though something else entered into this administrative management dialogue that moved them away from it. But it is absolutely, in fairness, that is a fair line to draw in terms of how cinema and how Hollywood plays their role in pushing issues that society has struggled to come to terms with. But again, you move very late into the process that piqued my curiosity as to what potentially may be an underlying issue that you're trying to deal with.
All right, we appreciate your perspective always. Dr. Sean Fletcher, San Jose State University. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.